Hey everyone, my name's Hayden with Cricut, and I made this cool customized hat to keep my bangs out of the way. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to make your own. Let's make it. All right, I'm going to show you how easy it is to make a customized hat. We're going to go over everything here. We've got a computer with design space. We've got our hat press. We've got our Cricut Explorer 3. We've got some accessories right here that we can use later on in the project, and I'll kind of explain them as we get to it. We've got our hat blank here, and within the hat, we've got the hat form, which is what is used to reinforce the hat as we're pressing it. And then we've got our smart material here, which is iron-on, and we'll walk through this whole process. To start off, I want to kind of look at the space I'm working with on the hat, and I probably want a decal that's going to go right across the center here. So we're going to go over here to design space. I'm going to click on images so I can search our library to find a design for my hat. As you can see, there's a lot of images to choose from, but I'm going to narrow down my search. Let's see, what should I do? I'm on the computer all day and kind of do nerdy things. All right, there we go. I'm going to type in nerd. And we see a lot of nerd stuff popping up here. All right, I'm gonna select this one. I like this design right here. And I'm gonna select add to canvas. And that's gonna bring the image into my canvas. You can see here it's pretty big. And so we wanna take it down so it can fit on the hat. So I've got my image selected. I'm gonna go from 13 inches down to 4. So I'm gonna enter 4 and hit return. And that size looks like it's going to be pretty good. Just want to double check. So I got my measuring tape here. That looks like it's going to be pretty nice across the hat. So I know I've got some black smart iron on here. So I want to select the layer and change the swatch so that I can match my layer, my image here, to the material I'm using. And this helps visualize the project as you go through the making process. I'm going to select make it. And then I'm going to choose without mat because I'm using smart material, which does not require a mat. You can just load it right into the machine. I'm going to hit continue. And you can see here that my image is selected and it's previewing on black material. There's a little feature over here called mirror. And what that's going to do is just flip the design so it's backwards. We want it to cut backwards, and I'll show you why in a minute. I'm going to select continue. And then I've got my device connecting right now. So this is going to connect design space to my Cricut Explorer 3. So this first step is to select your material. Basically, this is design space telling your machine what it's going to cut and how much pressure to apply. So I'm going to select Smart Iron-On because I know that's what I'm working with. Step 2 pops up, and design space is great because it tells you what you need to load in your machine for this portion of the project. This is rad because design space shows you which steps to follow, what tools go in the machine and which materials go in the machine. And it's pretty simple right now because this project is pretty simple, but it's showing me to load the fine point blade in clamp B, which you can see here. It's already loaded, but all machines come with this preloaded. So unless you've taken it out, you don't have to worry about it. And then we've got the last step, which is to load material and press the load unload button. Before I load this into the machine, I'm going to explain to you real quick why it's important to mirror for iron-on. You've got a matte side and you've got a shiny side. And with iron-on, this matte side is going to be the part of the material that adheres to the fabric or adheres to the surface of whatever you're making. And the shiny side acts as a protective layer to keep your material separated from your press. All right, the rule is shiny side down. So always remember, mirror with iron-on, shiny side down. Now I'm going to load the material into the machine. And because I'm using smart material, I don't need a mat. So it just loads in like so. You want to make sure you're going under the guides and up against the rollers. Oh yeah, one more thing. If you're not using smart material, you're going to want to use a Cricut mat to load your material into the machine. All right, I'm going to hold the material up against the rollers here, just gently, and I'm going to press this flashing load button. And you can see the smart material feeds into the machine effortlessly. All right, the machine is just checking to make sure I have enough material for the project. I know that because my design is so small, we're good to go. but you always want to make sure you have enough material for what you're about to cut. Okay, we're good to go. Design Space is telling me to press go, and over here, the go button is flashing. So let's make some magic. Well, let's make a hat. All right, we're going. Design Space is telling me it's sending the design, and it's gonna start cutting. All right, it looks like the machine is done cutting, and I'm gonna unload the material from the machine now. So I'm gonna press the flashing unload button. All right. So I can see here it's cut in the top left corner of my material, and I'm gonna move the hat out of the way here. So I've got my cut design here, and before I start prepping the design to apply to the hat, I'm actually gonna turn on the hat press by pressing this thermometer button one time. Whoa, hold up, okay. This is Hayden from the future. I just came back to say that I know I told you to click it one time, but the Cricut Heat app actually tells me that the heat needs to be medium. So I'm just gonna press it one more time. I'm just gonna take my scissors here and cut out this top corner where my design is. Just go down here, like so, and then right down here. I just heard it beep. It's already ready to go. That's awesome. Okay, got my design here, and I'm gonna put my scissors over here, move this material over to the side, and I've got my cool weeding tool here. That's gonna help me remove all of the material that I don't want to be included in my final product. So I'm just gonna come down here and select this section. All right. You can just discard that over to the side. I've got this little guy in here. All right. It's like watching paint dry. Okay, we've got this inner part coming out. So I'm just gonna break this up. I'm gonna use my hand and just pull away. So this is how it cut, and this is the sticky side that's gonna go on to the material. And when you flip it around and you see the protective layer, it's correct. Hey look, it says nerd. Awesome. I'm gonna trim this down a little bit, so I'm gonna take my scissors again, and I'm just gonna remove all this extra material so that I get a nice tight area on the hat. Okay, I'm gonna flip this hat up with the hat form inside. And imagine it goes like right there. But if you try to put it on, it's just gonna flop up. So we need something. If only I had some transfer tape, some heat transfer tape. But wait, I do. I've got some heat transfer tape right here. We're gonna peel off some of this and put it on this bad boy. All right. So I'm just gonna line it up and eyeball it, and cut about that much. I keep putting these protective covers on, and I don't need to because I'm gonna be using them. So, all right, gonna cut that. Feels like I'm working with some fettuccine. All right, I'm gonna put it across the top here, and I'm gonna eyeball it. That looks good. All right, I'm gonna press firmly and apply my design to the hat with the tape. More tape, and I'm just gonna go up here in the middle and apply it down. Firmly apply the tape. All right, I've got my third piece of heat tape here to apply to the design, and based on all the tape I've been using, you'd think we're made of tape. So I'm gonna put that on here like so, and apply that. We wanna make sure that the design stays in place, so That's why I use as much tape as I did, but I bet you $1 that you could use less. So, all right, this is pretty cool. We've got the hat press here. Moving on. So all I'm gonna do is just stick this on. I'm gonna hold the back of this hat form, and with my thumb, I'm gonna press go when I've applied the hat press. And this is just automatically gonna count down. So I'm moving back and forth in a cradling motion. Look into my eyes. You're getting very sleepy. Don't get sleepy while you're making this. You're using a heat product. Come on. Oh, Hayden, you've got too much personality. Oh. Hey, it beeped. It's done. Look at that. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Screenshot. The Cricut Heat app tells me that this particular design on a trucker hat needs a cool pill. So we're going to wait for this to cool down. All right, this is cooled down. So I'm just going to take off this tape, and it's also going to remove the protective backer. And a little bit came up. So I'm just going to reapply some pressure there. So if that ever happens to you, just put everything back on top and rub it in. All right, there we go. That looks pretty good. And it was pretty easy to make too. This is just one example of how you can make something customizable with iron-on. And while I'm thinking about it, probably should go back in time and remind myself that the hat press needs medium heat for iron-on. That's 2 bars. Let's go.